Hello there. Today I'll be presenting Distribution with the Pole by David Mendoza, Math 32, Section 3, Fall 2020. Okay, let's get started. Pareto Distribution. Italian economist and socialist Manfredo Pareto discovered the distribution. Pareto distribution is a skewed, heavily tailed distribution, showing a biased representation of a small percentage which holds most of the data. Distribution. I'll be starting off with the mathematics involved with the distribution. The distribution is stated by the following. A continuous random variable has a Pareto distribution with parameters of alpha greater than 0, k greater than 0, and x greater or equal to k. The probability density function, or the PDF, is given by f is equal to alpha k to the alpha divided by x to the alpha plus 1, in which x is greater or equal to 1. Here we have an example of a graphs with different alpha values of the PDF. In addition, the cumulative density function is given by capital F, 1 minus k over alpha to the alpha. And as we have here is a representation of the graph of the CDF with different alpha values. As you'll see right now is an example. I'll be showing the graphs Desmos with different applications or different alpha values visualized. Okay, here we go. Okay, as we have here in red, in the graph we have the PDF, and in the purple graph we have the CDF. Here we have, okay, k, as we have convenience, we have left it as 1. As we can tell, shifting the value of k with the greater value shifts the graph to the right, and giving it a less value shifts it to the left. If we look at alpha, as we decrease the value of alpha, we can tell that distribution amplitude changes to the right or decreases. As we increase alpha, the amplitude increases to the left, representing a very skewed distribution towards the left. Here we go, closer and closer to 1, giving that a very small percentage holds all the value of the CDF. Now let's head back to the presentation. Here we go. Real-world applications. The Pareto distribution normally occurs in production of things or usage of a given range, such as income, land distribution, productivity, population distribution. Here we have a graph which represents outputs and inputs. As we can see, 20% of the inputs produce 80% of the outcome, and 80% of inputs produce 20% of outcomes, which is very drastic. Okay, now let's look at the money produced by a given category for a job. As we can see, final inspections cost is most of the money produced, and indirect inspection produces way more or less money. And here we have a visual representation of income. Wealthy are up here, wealthy is down, poverty is down here. The minority holds all the wealth, most of the wealth, minorities hold most of the poverty, as we can see right here. Okay. A little side trivia that I noticed working on this project was the Pareto principle, which is a repeated phenomenon that occurs in a given Pareto distribution. It is also called the 80-20 rule. Examples are 80% of accidents are caused by 20% of drivers. 80% of workers is caused by 20% of personnel. Or let me correct that. 80% of the work done is by 20% of the personnel. 80% of output is made by 20% of the input. 80% of revenue is made by 20% customers in a given store. and also 20% of a mat gets 80% of the wear. This just demonstrates the very biased and very skewed distribution that the Pareto distribution holds. And that concludes my presentation.